Everyone wants a suppressor now that the tax stamp is gone, and when you buy the wrong one, you're stuck with it forever.
This mistake can be avoided if you ask yourself the right questions. Welcome back, guys. Another video here with Corvus Training Group, Parker and Austin. Like we mentioned in the intro, we're going to be talking about suppressors today. Primarily, what has happened with the $200 tax stamp that's gone away, what the process looks like to purchase a suppressor, as well as what you should consider before you make such a big purchase.
Suppressors aren't a luxury item anymore, man. They are becoming baseline equipment where everyone should have one. So today we're going to talk about approaching that huge purchase by addressing 3 important questions that will help you in your buying decision.
We're also going to be talking about 2 suppressors in specific. On the one side, we have the Huxwrx Flow 556K. Like it says in the name, this is a flow-through can, and the benefits of it is that it's a plug and play. You throw it on your rifle and you instantly have the benefits of a suppressor without insane gas in your face every time that you shoot it.
On the other side, we have the SureFire SOCOM RC2. This is a traditional suppressor design. This thing's like a workhorse. It's designed to be durable, and it's been proven in hard use by cooler dudes than me. So overall, 2 very different design philosophies, and depending on your weapon system, 2 drastically different shooting experiences. Before we actually compare anything at all, let's just redefine the questions that you're going to be asking yourself when you're looking for a suppressor. You probably started asking yourself, well, which suppressor is best, or which is the most affordable?
Idiot! First question that you should be asking yourself is, what rifle do I intend on putting the suppressor on?
Second, you should probably know how much you care about gas management and how this suppressor plays into that.
Third, how sensitive are you to weight and balance when it comes to the setup of your rifle?
And the fourth question is, how often are you going to be shooting this? Is this something that you're just shooting casually for fun, or is it something that you need for work?
The first question is obviously the most important one, but if you miss any of these other questions, you may be gambling in terms of what suppressor you purchase and not getting the experience that you expect.
One thing you're going to be pretty concerned about is the specs of whichever suppressor you're looking at. You're going to be looking at things like, how long is it? How does it attach to my gun? How much does it weigh? Those are important because when you're LARPing in your mom's basement and you're trying to go through a doorway, you don't want to be like dinging holes in mom's door jams, and then she's going to get mad at you and you can't have mac and cheese for a month.
Speaking from experience.
It also matters because this bad boy's like 17 ounces, and if I had a 16-inch rifle and I was shooting, I'd probably be feeling that a lot more after a couple hundred rounds than I would with this one being like a 10.3.
Something that a lot of people don't think about is how are they actually going to be mounting the suppressor to their rifle? There's a lot of things to take into consideration because different methods lead to different pros and cons. Some of them are more likely to lock up, and some of them use the same mounting methods, so you can actually move that suppressor from one weapon system to another by having the same muzzle device on multiple weapons. Alrighty, starting off, here are a few reasons why I specifically chose the Huxwrx Flow 556K can for my build, particularly because it's a shorter suppressor and it weighs a lot less. I really like that because I'm putting this on a 16-inch barrel. The first thing that I asked myself when I was looking at suppressors is, I have a long barrel. The more that this thing weighs, the tougher it's going to be to control and the more tiring it's going to be after a day of shooting. And so the fact that the Huxwrx is relatively light for suppressors, coming in at just over 12 ounces and being a lot shorter, was one of the things that I liked the most about it. This suppressor is very much plug and play. You can throw it on here without having to adjust the gas block, and because of the flow through technology, it makes for a very comfortable shooting experience without having so much gas in your face, especially after shooting your suppressor felt like I wasn't getting any oxygen. It was just pure gas. Whereas with the flow through, I was not getting hardly any gas in my face.
Yeah.
I think the thing that surprised me the most about this suppressor is it doesn't make a whole lot of difference putting it on here in terms of weight. I figured because my barrel is so long that putting even a little bit of weight on the end was gonna make a massive difference. And that was one of my first hesitations. But because this one's so light, it doesn't really make much of a difference in terms of how I'm able to maneuver the weapon and how tiring it is to shoot. What we're gonna be doing is, Austin is about 150 yards away. He's gonna be shooting over my head into this hillside behind us. I'm behind this mound with rocks, very, very safe, I promise, with my rifle unsuppressed, and then my rifle suppressed, and then Austin's rifle suppressed because he can't get his suppressor off because it's so carbon locked. This is what we're working with. So up over this hill, I gotta actually like climb up a decent amount to see Austin. So there he is at the car if you can see him. Wave hi to your mom, Austin. Alrighty, we are in position, ready for the first shots. Copy that. I just crapped myself. That was crazy. Ready? Okay, here goes my rifle suppressed. The cracks are insane. Just like going over the top of you and then hitting it. But it didn't have the two. It didn't have the, you can't really hear the shot going off and then the crack. It's just the crack and then the thump for hitting the hillside. That's crazy. Ready up here? Wow, that's insane. That is insane how much of a difference that makes. But I think what's more insane is how loud the crack of the round is going past you. I was gonna do it without ears, but then I decided not to. That's insane.
So like 4.5 years ago when I was building this rifle and didn't even know if I was gonna get a suppressor, I still got the war comp because that was my end goal and that's what I wanted to do. I think the thing that surprised me the most about this suppressor, the pros that surprised me, is that this thing is incredibly quiet. Like it is insanely quiet, especially considering that it's on a 10.3. This thing is incredible. It is very quiet. It's really good at flash mitigation as well. It does its job really well. The con, this thing locked on and I literally can't get it off. It's a common thing that you're gonna see online is that the RC2 gets carbon locked on. It does, and it gets carbon locked on hard. Is that a major con? No, it's not really that big of a deal because I don't really want to shoot this without it. Granted, yes, I need to take it off so that I can clean it so it stops shooting carbon chunks into my hand. But to be honest, shooting just the war comp, especially on a 10.3, is not a pleasant experience and the suppressor makes it way better. I do not have a heavier buffer tube or an adjustable gas block and I have zero issues. I do get gassed out. Like it's pretty gassy, especially if I'm just like mag dumping or putting a ton of rounds down range. Yeah, I get gassed out and that surprised me. But I'm a real man and I don't mind lung cancer, so I'm fine. Okay, and let's be honest, if you've never purchased a suppressor before, the whole process is really intimidating. But rest assured, it's not as intimidating as you think it is. I bought my suppressor in the era of the tax stamp.
Yeah, and I bought mine in January of 2026, right after the tax stamp went away. With or without the tax stamp, the process is the same. One of the things that makes it incredibly easy is if you have an FFL close to you that has a silencer shop kiosk, that allows you to go through every step of the process very seamlessly. And then you just work with Silencer Co. in terms of purchasing the specific suppressor that you want, or you can also check with that FFL and see if they have the one that you want in stock. So once I had done my research and decided which can I wanted to buy, I went to a shop here in Utah and they had it in stock. And so I essentially just went to the Silencer shop kiosk, went through the entire process, went back to the cashier, purchased the suppressor, and then they walked me through what steps I should expect moving forward and how I could know where I was at in the process.
The kiosk makes it super simple. You're doing fingerprints, uploading a selfie, and then getting walked through the rest of it by the kiosk or an employee at your gun shop or wherever you're doing it. That being said, before you go, you do need to do some research on what kind of trust you want. We're not going to give you any advice on which trust to choose. That's up to your own discretion. Just do your research and do what you think is best for you.
If you've done some research about purchasing a suppressor, you've probably heard people say about how long it takes to actually get your suppressor once you've purchased it and gone through the process. It's actually relatively quick than what it used to be. Like we've talked to people that have purchased suppressors, you know, a couple years ago, and they had to wait for over a year to actually get their suppressor after purchasing it. Again, here in January 2026, I did mine towards the beginning of January and I got it before the end. Getting my suppressor within a month is incredibly fast.
Though we can't really speak to what the wait times are going to look like right now for you in your state, there's always going to be a wait time. So if you have the money, you know what suppressor you want, just pull the trigger, man. There's always going to be a wait time. The ATF is stupid and slow on purpose, and heck 'em, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the wait time's probably gone up since you started watching this video. So as we get towards the end of the video, just ask yourself the questions that we've posed in terms of what suppressor is best for you. We're not going to tell you which of these two we like more or which one is better.
There are so many options for suppressors out there that we haven't even touched on, that we haven't even shot. It all depends on your weapon system you want to put it on, your personal preference, and your use case scenario. So just do your research, shoot one if you can, and go and buy one.
And if you are considering buying a suppressor, I'm going to assume that you've been in the firearm space for a little bit and you've purchased rifles, you've purchased optics, you've purchased a lot of different things. This should go without saying. Do not look for the cheapest option out there and go with that. At the end of the day, suppressors aren't cheap and cheap suppressors aren't good.
Like we said at the start of this video, guys, if you buy a suppressor, you're going to be stuck with it. So make a good decision. There's really no perfect suppressor, but there is one that matches how you shoot. So now we want to hear from you. Which suppressor would you choose if you had to choose between the Huxwrx and the RC2? Or would you go with something totally different, and why? We put a pinned comment down below. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think.
As always, guys, thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate the views, the likes, the comments, the shares. As always, like, comment, share, turn on those notifications, and we'll see you in the next one.